went wrong and we need to fix it. Then, Mr. Speaker, even if BBC aired it, it doesn't matter. We have to fix our own problems on our own. We don't have to wait for BBC to tell us there was something wrong.
We would like to know for a fact whether what BBC is hearing is connected to the riders that this House put on the training of the British Army training units in Kenya, where we were requiring that any officer of the British Army, if they are found here in Kenya to have killed, to have maimed, to have raped, they should be tried here in the mother soil, as it would happen even for a Kenyan if they were found on, guilty of a criminal offense in the UK.
This doesn't mean that we don't sympathize with our Kenyans who have been killed. We did here. We mourned them. We empathized with them. We sympathized with them. But the timings of this report by BBC World is unfortunate.
Mr. Speaker, we have a very angry young generation in this country. And part of the anger is on the issues that we are seeing, Mr. Speaker. And we cannot bury our heads in the sand, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let Parliament take the lead.
I watched the documentary and I really don't know what they're complaining about. Things happened, and those who should be held accountable, both from both sides. Those who planned for people to get into Parliament because it's a protected area and there are certain consequences that come with that. And those who used excessive force, both should actually face the strong arm of the Lord. And even after they complained like that, Amnesty International released the 2024-2025 State of the World's Human Rights Report, documenting human rights violation and a marked shift towards authoritarian practices in 2024. For Kenya, last year saw repeated attempts to infringe upon freedoms and human rights provided for in the constitution of the country. These include the right to protest, freedom of expression, access to health, housing, and protection from violence, among others. The report outlines a sustained crackdown on civil liberties, including the use of excessive and unnecessary force by the National Police Service during the 2024 nationwide protests. At least 65 individuals were killed, 89 forcibly disappeared, and 1,000 arbitrarily arrested.
Thanks for coming. The Kenya section outlines a sustained crackdown on civil liberties. This includes the use of excessive and unnecessary force by the National Police Service during the 2024 nationwide protests. Updated figures indicate that at least 65 individuals, Kenyan citizens, were killed, 89 persons were forcibly disappeared, and thousands were arbitrarily arrested. The government's response extended beyond physical spaces, the streets, the homes, the places of worship, and other physical public spaces, to the targeting of online dissent through enforced disappearances, arrests, account suspensions, threats, and physical violence to bloggers and other netizens online. These actions were designed to create a climate of fear for those expressing legitimate public criticism.
As I promised earlier on, later on in the show, we are going to work on us. How do you build you? Because remember, you don't get what you deserve or what you need from the world. You get what you are. That's what you bring to yourself, what you are. So what you have around you and your circumstances around you are a reflection of some of the things that are happening in there. Your mindset, very, very important. We'll be looking at that with Gabriel in a couple of minutes or so. Daily Nation, CS Mutua's Qatar police job fiasco. Tusaidiwe hapa. A government-backed program for employment abroad has imploded in controversy. Kenyans desperate for jobs abroad are losing their cash to rogue recruitment agencies. These untouchable architects of the con games continue to rip off victims lured by false promises of a breakthrough in life. But it's a grand betrayal when jobless Kenyans are now fleeced through a state-backed program. Then you have the pictures of the opposition leaders as they try and come together to see whether they can form the next government. You have all of them there. Tears as victims of state-run job scandal narrate ordeals. Politician plan opposition coalition against Ruto. Gachagua to unveil new party on the 15th of May. I hope this time around is going to be true. Arrest killer officers now, civil society's demand. IPOA still probing killing of 60 protesters a year later as victims' identities revealed. NMG Tanzania subsidiary, Mwananchi picks new MD. That's their business, right? The back page, Daily Nation, austerity. Cabinet okay slashed 2025-2026 budget. City to evict defaulters, including tenant with arrears of 13 years. Arrears of 13 years. Ooh. You've been living in somebody's house for 13 years without paying. Alafu utaenda in the street haki zetu. Wekenge. Ruto to slash billions in key budget freeze. That's a Star newspaper. And then gunmen kill 5 quarry workers in Mandera. Police suspect Al-Shabaab attacked non-Muslim workers to destabilize region. Fresh test of unity as Matiang'i joins anti-Ruto big guns. They are all there. But if God was to open your minds or was to open your ears to hear what they are thinking, you'd take off. Labda mwingine afikiri saa hiki kinafikiria hiki ni nani? Mimi ndio mwenyewe. Huyu amekuja kutuharibia tu. Back page, work to be done. Omondi sets target as he begins tenure at Malkia Strikers Technical BH. Then the Standard, the newspaper that has been giving the government sleepless night, unmoved by bloodshed. Then it has the pictures of President William Ruto, the IG of Police, CS Interior, and the KDF boss. All of them there. Even as the nation reels from a damning expose revealing extrajudicial killings during last year's Gen Z protests, fresh reports have emerged of police firing live bullets at residents protesting an alleged land grab in Narok. Now, on this one of Narok, we cannot just put a blanket blame on the police. These guys had bow and arrows, and one police officer was hit by it. So when you use bow and arrows, don't expect the police to bring you flowers. Rights group, when we did that story, I said we need the rights group to come and also protest that these guys are using arrows against the police. The policeman was not given the gun for fun. If you come with an arrow, a dagger, or something like that, how do you expect him to protect himself? Go look for an arrow? Nah, cheni bana. It was a sad thing, you know, Edward Kwach Kwach was a radio personality for a very long time, and he gave up the ghost. He signed off for good. Then you have a story of Ruto and the top security chiefs blamed for extrajudicial killings. And then there's justice is on hold. I pour slam for laxity in Gen Z protest probes. Then the back page, Yamal Stardust could give Barca edge over Inter Milan. This guy is becoming, he might just take me back to football. He's giving me the vibes of Ronaldinho. That's the last time I concentrated on football. The days of Ronaldinho, Thierry Henry. Yamal might actually just, he's giving me good vibes. Now let's see how this happens. All right, we go for a short break. When we come back, we start discussing what I promised you on Mindset Wednesday, where we look at your mindset or our mindset and how it affects everything around us. On this particular case, it's how it affects you. And when you build you, you build everything around you. When you build you, you start moving. You start elevating yourself to a place whereby you're seeing things completely different. And because you're seeing things different, the things you bring into your life are completely different, because you keep on bringing things based on your mindset. The moment your mindset changes, things around you change. And that's the most important thing. Renew your mind. That's what God keeps on telling us. Change your mindset. Start thinking the way I think. Don't think the way you think. Let's go for a short break, and as we bring in Gabriel for this conversation.